On the battlefield of the Fourth Ninja War, when Banyu was defeated by a black tiger and the former goddess of the moon returned, Chunai Sakura finally took off her disguise and walked straight out. Dressed in black, with a sleeveless top on the upper body and tight-fitting shorts on the lower body, the arms with prominent muscular contours are exposed, giving a strong and powerful appearance. Ancestor, you must grit your teeth and persevere in the upcoming battle. Keywords of the novel. I'm really not Sakura Haruno. No pop-ups, I'm really not Sakura Haruno. Download the full text of Sakura Haruno. I'm really not Sakura Haruno. Read the latest chapters. Chapter 1. Girl, is this the key point? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1. Girl, is this the key point? In the morning, when the alarm clock at the bedside rang, Sakura Haruno opened her eyes at the first moment. After waking up and organizing her personal appearance, Chunai Sakura finished breakfast under the slightly surprised gaze of Cheap Mom and walked out of her house with a bento box. After arriving at school according to her memory, she walked into the class in her memory and was blocked by a beautiful girl. Sakura, what do you mean by this? Did you see Sasuke noticed my hairstyle yesterday and couldn't wait to make a change? Did you think this would catch Sasuke's attention? Let me tell you, Sasuke likes me, so you should die of this heart. Haruno Sakura never imagined that a 6 or 7-year-old girl would fight so fiercely for men, but this also indirectly reflects the level of popularity of Uchiha Sasuke. Ino, I tied my hair just because the weather was getting hot. It would be very hot to drape my long hair over my shoulders. If it wasn't too late, I would cut my hair short before coming to class. With a brief answer, Haruno Sakura was ready to walk towards her seat. However, before Haruno Sakura could take a step forward, she was grabbed by Inoue's arm, and her other hand had already touched Haruno Sakura's forehead. Didn't you have a fever? Why do you speak so strangely? Don't you think this long hair is more important than anything else in your daily life? Speaking like this today, you haven't taken good care of your long hair compared to usual. Also, when I mentioned Sasuke just now, why haven't you reacted at all? Are you still Sakura Haruno? The little brat in the world of Hokage is going against the sky, isn't there? Ino, I've been heartbroken, Haruno Sakura said after staring at Ino for a while before saying something like this. Ah. Lost in love, Sakura, you secretly confessed to Sasuke Jun. It's unforgivable. Inoue heard of the breakup and the first thing that came to her mind was sneaking away. Girl, is this the point? No, I didn't run to confess. Shaking her head, Haruno Sakura immediately denied the statement. I can't admit it, because once I admit it, Haruno Sakura estimates that the only girl in the class who can talk to her will be Hinata, who loves Naruto wholeheartedly. Didn't all the girls in the class stand up quietly at this moment? How could it be heartbroken without confession? Inoue clearly didn't believe Haruno Sakura's words. That's because I heard about it, Haruno Sakura said as she pulled Inoue's hand and walked towards her seat. Heard? Heard what? Inoue looked at Sakura, who had not held her hand for a long time, somewhat bewildered. You also know Sasuke Jun's surname, right? Haruno Sakura asked Inoue. Uchiha, one of the big families on par with the Hinata family, no one in the village wouldn't know, right? Inoue looked at Haruno Sakura puzzled. Well, let me tell you, I heard that the Uchiha family, in order to ensure purity of their bloodline and prevent the outflow of their bloodline, often marry people from their own tribe. Even occasional intermarriages are accepted by commoners, and after marriage, they also have to move into Uchiha's tribe territory to live. Think about it, Sasuke Jun is the son of the clan leader, and his future marriage partner is probably the first priority of his own tribe, so it's never my turn. With a very disappointed tone, Sakura Haruno said to Ino. After listening to the short story rumors that Haruno Sakura had heard, Inoue, who is not yet 7 years old, feels a bit confused in his mind. It is true that what Haruno Sakura said is too profound. Until the class bell rang, Ino said to Haruno Sakura, "Sakura, I won't give up. Girl, if the Uchiha family has always existed, don't think about it. It's impossible at all. Who wouldn't know that the pig deer butterfly family is a hardcore member of Hokage, while the Uchiha family is a fan of Hokage Black? Fortunately, the Yukibo family is expected to disappear in just over a year, and there will be no Haruno Sakura in the original work. You can indeed try to win it. As you and this body are good friends, I wish you well." With a cheering posture, Haruno Sakura watched as Inoue walked back to her position. Looking back, Haruno Sakura suddenly felt a gaze. Following the feeling, I happened to see the posture of the second generation of the Uchiha family's poker face turning its head. Ah, is this spreading false information and being caught by the parties involved? Well, anyway, what you're saying is also true, it's not really spreading rumors. Even if you hear it, it's not a big deal. With a nonchalant attitude, the world of Hokage officially kicked off as Haruno Sakura, the apprentice of the Konoha ninja, marched towards the strongest woman in the world of Hokage. In real life, what a child aged 6 to 7 can do, or what they can do, I believe over 99% of people will answer the answer to entering school to learn knowledge. Well, in real life, this is an almost unquestionable answer. But in the world of Hokage, this answer is slightly different. Children of this age group have indeed basically entered schools in various hidden villages. However, what this ninja school teaches is not a course to broaden their horizons, increase their wisdom, and accumulate knowledge. The courses taught in ninja schools only revolve around one center and two basic points. One center is that ninjas take completing tasks as their own responsibility, while two basic points are chakras cognition and basic application, as well as the basic skills involved in completing tasks. Yes, the above three topics are almost common to all ninja schools in Hidden Village. Who calls ninjas to live or die for tasks? To complete tasks safely and efficiently, one must master chakras and various skills. As for advanced skills such as stealth and espionage, they are professional training that only graduates from ninja schools can receive after entering special organizations. Ninja schools teach basic skills, and such high-end courses will not even appear. Do you want Haruno Sakura to sit in a classroom composed of a group of little brats and play the role of a beautiful girl who loves learning and also has a bit of a flower lover? How to put it, having a hobby of learning Sakura Haruno is completely achievable. After all, although ninja school cannot learn advanced knowledge, the school's curriculum can still be fully satisfied in laying a foundation. But if it's a flower obsession, Haruno Sakura can't do it at all, even if it's just pretending. Haruno Sakura can't come up with it. And Haruno Sakura doesn't want to pretend to like Uchiha Sasuke. After all, for a otaku who is full of harem, it's even more uncomfortable than missing a big sword. In such a situation, if Haruno Sakura wants to enter class 7 without any surprise upon graduation, she must make some changes. End of this chapter. Chapter 2. I can win by lying down, but I insist on working hard. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2. I can win by lying down, but I insist on working hard. Before Rebirth, I analyzed online with some senior Bone fans why among many students, the commoner-born Sakura Haruno occupied the last spot in Class 7, and why did 3rd Hokage choose Sakura Haruno, Naruto Vortex, and Sasuke Uchiha to form a group. After a period of analysis, some more reliable reasons were proposed. Chimo Kakashi led the 7th class, and Naruto Vortex naturally entered the 7th class because he was the son of the 4th generation Hokage and the contemporary Julie. The reason for this is not only because Kiki Kakashi is a disciple of the 4th Hokage, but also because Naruto is a pillar of human power, and Kiki Kakashi worked in the dark department before becoming the leader of the team. After all, only members of the dark or relevant personnel are supervising the human pillar force, so that the high-level officials in the village can rest assured. The reason why another member of the 7th class, Uchiha Sasuke, entered the 7th class was much simpler. Because Chimu Kakashi is the only person left with a Sharingan on the face of my Akira, out of confession to Uchiha Itachi, the village can only allow Uchiha Sasuke to follow Chimu Kakashi. Of course, there are also 3 generations of Hokage that Kakashi is considering in order to keep an eye on Jitsu and Twanji. Compared to others, the reason why Haruno Sakura entered Class 7 is somewhat subtle. In the eyes of many, Haruno Sakura is a girl who Naruto likes and also likes Sasuke, and this is the biggest reason why she was able to enter Class 7. As for what academic achievers, having the potential or working with men and women is not a reason at all. And in the process of being liked and being liked, there is no doubt that being liked is the real reason. The 3rd generation Hokage is trying to establish a bond with Naruto, so Sakura Haruno, who was liked by Naruto, entered the 7th class. This is a skill that the 3rd generation Hokage has already mastered, just look at the previous generation's Renju-Lee. As for liking Uchiha Sasuke, not to mention ninja school, there are many little girls in Haruno Sakura's class who are crazy about the 2nd generation boy of the Uchiha family. So if Haruno Sakura wants to be assigned to Class 7 upon graduation, she doesn't actually need to show any obsession with Uchiha Sasuke, and that's not a bonus. In one sentence, as long as she is liked by Naruto, it is enough, which means that nowadays Haruno Sakura can win without doing anything. Of course, as an essential otaku, Haruno Sakura doesn't want to be qualified to join Class 7 just because she is liked by a little kid. As a time traveler, one must have a bit of a time traveler's temper. Haruno Sakura couldn't just wait passively like this, and wanting to be selected for such reasons would be seen as a humiliation by Haruno Sakura. It is not difficult to actively change the impression of the 3rd generation Hokage, so that it can join the 7th class without being liked by Naruto. There's only one answer: medical ninjutsu. Yes, as long as Haruno Sakura can master basic medical ninjutsu before graduation, joining Class 7 as Haruno Sakura is a definite thing. Although it is still due to Naruto Vortex, the 3rd generation Hokage is currently considering how a medical ninja can improve the team's survival rate, rather than simply trying to create a bond with Naruto Vortex. However, medical ninjutsu is not easy to master. For the current Sakura Haruno, don't even think about learning medical ninjutsu. It should be noted that apart from the ability to control chakras, medical ninjas also have certain requirements for chakras. 7-year-old Sakura Haruno has only mastered the extraction of chakras for a year, and the gap between chakras in her body and learning medical ninjutsu is quite large. Moreover, in the next 3 to 4 years, this gap is unlikely to narrow much. Haruno Sakura's plan is to go to Kiba Hospital to get familiar with her face and learn simple bandaging techniques and pharmacology through her cheap father's relationship. Wait until about a year before graduation, when you have enough experience in controlling chakras and a certain amount of chakra reserves, before mentioning learning medical ninjutsu. Of course, if during this period, Sakura Haruno can brush up on Naruto Vortex's recognition from other aspects, she doesn't mind either. So how to become an excellent ninja? I believe anyone who has worked in the ninja profession will give their own answer, and among these countless answers, one thing everyone agrees with is chakra, which means that strength is the foundation of becoming an excellent ninja. And the differences between people also result in different levels of chakra that shape individuals. How to use chakras more efficiently has become the most indispensable and important course in the development of the ninja world. How to exercise effectively to control chakras and achieve a saving effect during the use of ninjutsu is not taught in the current Konoha ninja school. It's not that teachers are unwilling to teach, but rather that there are regulations at the top. Yes, this course, which was originally popular during the war, was directly deleted by senior management in the years following the end of the war. As for why it needs to be deleted, it's just out of helplessness. It's not a time of war, there's no constant fighting, and the bonds between teams are not as easy to establish. Leading a team of ninjas is not as easy to get along with beginners, so these small skills that can enhance strength have been removed from the school curriculum by senior management and extended to the scope of ninja teaching on the team. Of course, This does not mean that one must wait until graduation to learn these little skills, it is only for those orphans or commoner ninjas with no background at all. It seems that the second generation of ninjas like Sakura Haruno does not have much obstacles. After all, in the profession of ninjas, there is no parent who would not want their children to be stronger. It should be noted that in the ninja profession, strength represents survival rate. So why did Sakura Haruno in the original work continue to use her trisolarans until after graduation, when competing with others during the Nakano exam? The reason is simple. The focus of a girl's survival at that time was not on how to become stronger, but on how to become more beautiful so that she could attract the opposite sex in her heart. Haruno Sakura dares to guarantee that if Haruno Sakura in the original work could meet Tsunade during her school years, then with her natural love for beauty and violent tendencies as a young girl, she would still be able to shine a bit during the Nakano exam. Of course, this is not all the reason. The most important point is that Haruno Sakura's current cheap father, Haruno Zhao, is not a powerful ninja. After consulting with Sakura Haruno in the past few days, she concluded that her strength is generally lower than that of ninjutsu, and her mastery of ninjutsu is not related to water or earth, let alone yin and yang attributes. End of this chapter. Chapter 3. Holding thighs can have it. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3. Holding thighs can have it. This is probably also a key point in the original work that Sakura Haruno was not very good before becoming a disciple of the 5 generations Hokage. Then, Sakura Haruno's plan to rely on her cheap father to become familiar at the Kiba hospital also failed. The current cherry blossom is not the original cherry blossom, so it naturally does not focus on its own appearance, nor does it waste time speculating on the thoughts of a face-paralyzed little kid. After the conversation with Ino that day, Sakura Haruno, who had cut her short hair, focused her thoughts on how to lay a solid foundation. Of course, how to use chakras to climb trees and step on water. Haruno Sakura learned relevant knowledge points from Haruno Zhao, and the rest is enough practice. It is impossible for Haruno Sakura to practice for long as her body can produce much chakra before she is 7 years old. In terms of physical skills, although Haruno Sakura practices more every day, she dare not invest too much energy. She is too young to consume much time, so how should she make use of the remaining time? Chunai Sakura has her own answer. Read a book. Yes, reading books related to medicine, so while the children at the same time were still playing, being obsessed with flowers, playing pranks, and so on, Haruno Sakura had already begun to move towards her goals. After spending almost half a year reading and copying a basic medical ninjutsu book that her cheap father, Haruno Akira, had obtained from relevant sources, Haruno Sakura gained a rough understanding of medical skills in the world of Hokage. It has to be said that the development of medical technology in this world is somewhat distorted. Apart from the most basic drug formulation, most subjects are related to chakra, and even specific drugs need to be made using chakra. For trauma, chakra stimulates cell division to achieve the goal of healing, in other words, reducing lifespan is used to exchange for rapid healing of the injury. Everyone knows that cell division has a cycle, and too fast division can accelerate cell aging. Otherwise, after the end of World War I, the first generation of powerful Hokage would not have died so quickly. Having a strong vitality, but dying at the end of its lifespan, it must be said that the first Hokage died quite worthless. Of course, this kind of medical ninjutsu is not entirely a disadvantage. It should be noted that during times of war, healing wounds earlier represents an increased likelihood of survival. Lowering the insignificant upper limit of lifespan in exchange for the right to live is considered a gain for everyone. In peacetime, the profession of ninjas still has a possibility of having neither today nor tomorrow, and it is necessary to maintain its peak state at all times. And only in good condition can one take on tasks and earn commissions, so that they can live a better life. If anyone is easily injured and recuperates for 6 months, the hidden villages of the 5 major countries should not operate normally at all. That's why the vast majority of ninjas vaguely understand the side effects of medical ninjutsu, but still no one suggests using this medical ninjutsu less. Moreover, any knowledge related to healthcare is not publicly disclosed and is completely monopolized. That is to say, ordinary bookstores will never be able to buy medical content. Only those who aspire to become medical ninjas and engage in medical-related professions are likely to have access to this kind of content. This is also why Haruno Sakura needs Haruna to lick her face and borrow relevant books. After studying for half a year, Sakura Haruno finally realized how lucky she was to have the character in the original work. Although her own qualifications accounted for some of the reasons, if it weren't for the light of Naruto and Sasuke, Sakura Haruno wouldn't have had the opportunity to be exposed to this area, let alone become a powerful medical ninja. Before graduating and being assigned to the 7th class, or in other words, before the return of the 5th generation Hokage thousand-armed gunman, Haruno Sakura had to find other ways to learn medical ninjutsu as Haruno Sakura. As for cheap dad Chunai Zhao's side, there is no need to rely on it anymore. Borrowing a book has already used all the relationships. If you want to access other related knowledge, you can only rely on Haruno Sakura herself. Fortunately, among the contemporaries of Haruno Sakura, many people were able to access this knowledge. There are 3 people that Chunai Sakura can rely on to read all the introductory medical books. The first one is naturally the future crown princess Kiba and the eldest daughter of the Hinata family, Hinata. As the first heir of the clan, the young lady is now looking for some introductory books on medical ninjas to show to her friends, which is not a problem at all. You should know that the Hinata family is definitely not lacking in medical books, as this is a family heritage issue. Of course, whether Haruno Sakura can get everything she wants from Hinata in the end depends on whether she can become Hinata's friend. As for the remaining 2 people, they both belong to the group of Kiba, Pig, Deer, and Butterfly, namely Naruto, whom Haruno Sakura is unwilling to deal with, and Ino Yamanaka, who has re-established a friendship. Among the 3 people, Haruno Sakura almost didn't consider and locked in a partner, which was Hinata. Perhaps Haruno Sakura's current physical condition has a good relationship with Yamanaka Inoue, but the Yamanaka family ultimately relies on secret ninjutsu. With limited knowledge, and due to Inoue's small size, even if she is willing to help, the possibility of obtaining medical books is probably very low. The remaining Naruto and Hinata, although only in a classmate relationship with the current Haruno Sakura, compared to seeking Naruto's help, Haruno Sakura believes that her daughter's success in seeking Hinata's help will undoubtedly be much greater. As for how to establish a good relationship with Hinata, Haruno Sakura has many ways, but there will definitely be no topics related to Naruto in this. Talking about topics related to Naruto may make it easier to get close to Hinata, but it can also lead to trouble. After all, the presence of Kyuchi Takashi is too sensitive. And girls have to rely on talking about a boy to become friends, so this friendship is a bit strained. A silly white sweet, a conscious approach, it is not difficult to become good friends. In just a few days, Haruno Sakura successfully became good friends with Hinata without saying anything. In less than half a month, Haruno Sakura received her 2nd book on medical ninjutsu. As for the reaction of the Hinata family, just 4 words: sit and observe its changes. Hinata didn't care about his daughter being deliberately approached, but rather nodded to Haruno Sakura, who now knows how to climb the wealthy family. This girl had already broadened her path. Of course, the most important thing is that a girl who aspires to pursue the path of medical ninjas should not be overly vigilant. Another point is that no family or power cares about cultivating medical ninjas, as if Sakura Haruno, who has a bit of talent and is willing to automatically climb, is no better. On the other hand, Haruno Sakura's daily life is only about studying and practicing, apart from maintaining interpersonal relationships. End of this chapter. Chapter 4. I've been wanting to see you for a long time. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4. I've been wanting to see you for a long time. Of course, there is also the occasional observation of Uchiha Sasuke at school. Don't misunderstand, it's not that Haruno Sakura wants to see how Uchiha Sasuke's disguise is refined, but that Haruno Sakura wants to know how Uchiha Sasuke is feeling. Uchiha Sasuke, who is still a child, is not very good at hiding his emotions, so it is easy to see how his mood is. Both good and bad moods are of no use to Haruno Sakura. What Haruno Sakura wants to see is the hopeful look in Uchiha Sasuke's eyes. Whenever Uchiha Sasuke has such a look in his eyes, it means that the man may appear. Uchiha Itachi can be said to be an absolute contender for the most tragic character in the world of Hokage. But it is undeniable that this man has unparalleled magnanimity and consciousness, and is definitely one of the most outstanding characters in Kishimoto's works. Haruno Sakura stared at Uchiha Sasuke with the purpose of meeting this man whose life was full of sadness and legendary colors. It's not easy to see Uchiha Itachi, who has been working in the dark for a long time, and Haruno Sakura cannot rush to the Hokage office to seek the third-generation Hokage. Therefore, if she wants to see Uchiha Itachi without attention, Haruno Sakura can only stare at Uchiha Sasuke in search of opportunities. And this opportunity didn't wait long before it appeared. As a younger brother control, Uchiha Itachi couldn't bear the emotion of not seeing his younger brother for a long time. In addition, it's not yet a year from now, and the conflict between the village and Uchiha clan has not fully intensified to the point where Uchiha Itachi can't escape. At this moment, Uchiha Itachi can still find time to see Sasuke. After class only finished in the afternoon, when she saw Uchiha Sasuke rushing out of the classroom, Haruno Sakura knew that there was likely a chance to see that man today. Leaving the classroom calmly and hanging behind Uchiha Sasuke, the two of them soon arrived at the back mountain of the village, a temporary training ground that had been opened up. At this moment, Uchiha Itachi has already been waiting here. After seeing Sasuke's arrival, Uchiha Itachi's mood was very good. Every time he guided his younger brother, it was a rare healing time for Uchiha Itachi. But today, before Uchiha Itachi could start enjoying this time, a figure walked out of the forest. Haruno Sakura, why are you here? Sasuke's tone at this moment was clearly not very good, as he didn't want his time to receive guidance from his brother to be taken up. Senior Uchiha Itachi, I've been wanting to see you for a long time. Can I delay your time a little bit? I'll just say a few words to you alone and leave. Sakura Haruno didn't answer Sasuke's words, but asked in a pleading tone. Sure. Nodding, Uchiha Itachi immediately separated into a shadow clone to begin today's guidance, and then followed Haruno Sakura towards the forest. Within 2 minutes of walking, Haruno Sakura stopped at a distance far enough from Uchiha Sasuke. Senior Itachi, could you please investigate the surroundings? The following words are not suitable for others to know. After listening to Haruno Sakura's words, Uchiha Itachi's eyes slightly changed, and then the Sharingan eyes of Sangoyu appeared in his eyes. After 2 breaths, Uchiha Itachi spoke up and said, "There's no one around, you can talk. I have been occasionally seeing fragments of future time and space recently. I thought it was just a dream, but later I confirmed through some experiments that I do have this ability. Whether you believe it or not, I just want to tell you that the Uchiha clan is about to perish." As Haruno Sakura finished speaking, a murderous aura that was about to condense into substance suddenly spread from Uchiha Itachi's body, instantly making Haruno Sakura feel suffocating. Fortunately, this feeling came suddenly and went quickly. If it weren't for the trembling legs reminding her of what had just happened in her breath, Sakura Haruno would almost have thought it was an illusion. Following Haruno Sakura, she saw that Uchiha Itachi's eyes seemed to start emitting a strange light. Well, this is the beginning of using illusions. However, Haruno Sakura is not afraid at all, let alone Sangoyu. Even if the kaleidoscope or even higher reincarnation eye comes, Haruno Sakura is not afraid at this moment. Coming to talk to Uchiha Itachi, Haruno Sakura naturally had to guard against these heart-wrenching ninja techniques, and there is no doubt that Uchiha Itachi is best at illusion. So Haruno Sakura negotiated with the system in advance, and then had the system temporarily immunize herself against illusions and interrogation, otherwise Haruno Sakura wouldn't dare to stand in front of Uchiha Itachi. What else did you see? Without choosing whether or not to believe the girl in front of him, Uchiha Itachi's current problem was only to collect intelligence. Unfortunately, the illusion did not have any effect, which surprised Uchiha Itachi. You killed your parents and looked at Sasuke with tears in your eyes, using the pupils you had never seen before. You said these words. You have no value in killing. Stupid little brother, if you want to kill me, hate me. Hate me. Then live ugly. Run, and continue to live. After Sasuke's emotional breakdown collapsed, you left the village, and from that day on, there was only one person with the surname Uchiha left. Upon hearing this, Yujibo Itachi's pupils not only widened a bit. After pondering for a moment, Uchiha Itachi continued to ask Haruno Sakura in a slightly low voice, is there anything else? In the distant future, amidst the ruins of a battle, you will stand in front of Sasuke with your eyes that have lost their radiance. You will extend your right hand and point your index and middle fingers at Sasuke's forehead as he grows up, then gently say, forgive me, Sasuke, this is the last time. Then, with a smile, you will fall and die. Sakura Haruno replied in a somewhat mournful voice. Is there any more footage about Sasuke after that? Upon hearing his own death, Uchiha Itachi did not find it difficult to accept, but quickly pursued Haruno Sakura. There is also a scene where Sasuke Jun had eyes with a slightly different pattern from yours, and attacked a person named Tuanzang in a snowy and icy place, successfully killing him, Sakura Haruno recalled for a moment. Upon hearing the name Tuanzang, Uchiha Itachi's face suddenly changed. Haruno Sakura, are you here today to say these words? Without further questioning, Uchiha Itachi forced himself to take a deep breath before asking Haruno Sakura. It's not like that, I only come to see you when I have something to do, Haruno Sakura answered directly by shaking her head. What's going on? Uchiha Itachi asked. After leaving Kiba in the future, you will join a very special organization. You will wear a black windbreaker embroidered with red clouds, a hat tied with wind chimes on your head, a scratch on the ninja's forehead, and then act in pairs. After joining this organization, you will see a strange giant. The reason why I'm looking for you is that I hope you can find a way to help me obtain a copy of the active cell tissue of a giant body. In our first ninja exam after graduation, after the death of the third generation Hokage, you can hand it over to me again when you return to Kiba. As a reward, I can promise you one thing you want me to do. Haruno Sakura looked at Uchiha Itachi and answered cautiously. End of this chapter. Chapter 5. Free is definitely the most expensive. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5. Free is definitely the most expensive. There is a lot of intelligence, let me think it over. Well, this is the only thought in Uchiha Itachi's heart at this moment. However, Uchiha Itachi did not think too much. Perhaps in less than a minute, Uchiha Itachi gave the following answer. If the first act you told me really happened, then the night before leaving, I will definitely come to see you, and then I will decide whether to accept this transaction. Yes, trading. In Uchiha Itachi's view, what Haruno Sakura is proposing at this moment is trading, a trade about the future. As for telling the third generation about the abnormality of Haruno Sakura, Uchiha Itachi had this idea before, but quickly extinguished it. If the future is really what the girl in front of him said, then he needs to leave someone who can help Sasuke. In the mind of Uchiha Itachi, the village is important, but it is based on the premise that the role of the village can protect the safety of her younger brother's growth. As a backup, Haruno Sakura has the value of making Uchiha Itachi forget today's conversation. Although I don't want that day to come, I'm afraid we'll probably see each other again, said Haruno Sakura. Without stopping for a moment, she left the forest and headed back home. Seeing Chunai Sakura leave, Uchiha Itachi took a deep breath and then changed into a slightly smiling face. However, those who observe carefully will surely find that there is a hint of worry and sorrow in that smile that cannot be dispelled. After leaving the forest, Chunai Sakura finally took a long breath, but fortunately, the unreliable system finally had some effect. As for what's going on with the system, it all starts from the night before enrollment. Haruno Sakura was originally just an otaku, but for some reason, she encountered a temporary task system that gave him a choice, and then he agreed. However, Chinese people all know that free is definitely the most expensive, just like temporary workers are always the ones who have problems. This temporary task system has a big problem. System, the most invincible counterattack system in the dimensional world, may I ask what's going on? Before crossing, it was agreed that it would be between Naruto Vortex and Sasuke Uchiha. This is completely different from what was agreed upon. My name is Li Yi, and my surname is Li, not stupid, and I don't have Sakura. Can you help me cross into Sakura Chunai? On the night before entering school, looking in the mirror, Li Yi, who had crossed over, didn't know what kind of expression to use to express his anger at this moment. Well, as a temporary host, crossing over is not 100% safe. I told you before crossing over that there may be some risks. A voice suddenly sounded deep in Li Ye's mind. Is it difficult because your trip was a temporary task, so? Before Li Yi could finish speaking, the voice of the counterattack system rang out again. Absolutely nothing. I can tell you, the integrity of this system is absolutely guaranteed. This time, it was absolutely unexpected, 100% absolutely unexpected. Regardless of accidents or risks, as an adult of the counterattack system, you should always solve this problem that you must face. You should know that we have signed a contract, and if you plan to leave like this, then I will definitely give you a negative review in terms of service. Li Yi, as a otaku with a dream of the harem, was also willing to go all out. How could he allow his Rui golden hoop to disappear due to an unexpected factor? This is a bit difficult to do. You should know that even if this system is omnipotent, it is still impossible to perform soul swapping in the same world with a difficulty level of max. This has exceeded the permissions of this system. How about you go to learn Snake Uncle's technique of reincarnation when you grow up? The unreliable system put forward an unreliable opinion. I don't think it's really good. Although Li Yi is not a professional otaku, his understanding of the three major migrant worker anime has reached the level of an expert. How could he not be clear about the drawbacks of Orochimaru's undead reincarnation? Speaking of which, even if this technique has no drawbacks, why should Snake Uncle teach you? You should know that in the plot, Haruno Sakura's master is a gambling tycoon named Nyogang, not Cold Lord's reincarnation snake. If you post it, people not only look down on it, but also think there is some conspiracy. It is likely that the reincarnation of the undead did not learn it, and they will first risk their own lives. That system can't do anything about it, the unreliable system shrugged out in an invisible place, playing pranks and saying, "No, you have a solution. You can let me travel through it again, no matter what. It's not in the world of Hokage." Li Yi was not bound by the reality and directly proposed the most reliable and direct solution to the root cause. Don't think about rebirth again. This permission belongs to the main system. Each rebirth is recorded, and only the rebirth tasks generated by the main system can be completed through the various systems executing the tasks. I'm sorry, your number of rebirths has been used up. The counterattack system said in a business tone. So please bring out the contract. After I attach the complaint to the negative review, you can leave my body and go back to complete the task. Li Yi replied decisively when he heard the unreliable system's answer. Well, don't be so decisive. It's not beneficial for both of us to suffer losses like this. After discussing, there will always be a solution, right? It's the unreliable system's turn to please Li Yi this time. After all, task evaluation is related to the growth and decrease of permissions in a system. Even for temporary tasks, the counterattack system cannot be careless. It should be noted that the competition for permissions between systems is also very fierce. My goal is very simple, isn't it? If you have no choice, I have no choice. You should be aware that as a otaku, the dream of the harem is greater than everything. You accidentally lost my big sword, and even if I try hard, I will never achieve my dream. Is there still room for negotiation between us? Li Ye's eyes flickered with a complex aura, but there was absolutely no despair in it. Okay, I'll use my permission to post you a task. As long as you can complete it, I'll give you a chance to achieve your dream as a reward. That's it. Faced with the threat of absolute negative reviews, the unreliable system finally made a compromise. What task? Li Yi immediately asked. Within 10 years, if you want to become one of the strongest women in the world of Hokage, that's the task. After listening to the unreliable system, Li Yi couldn't help but widen his eyes. You mean to let me kill the resurrected Hai Yi Chi in the 10th year? I already knew that your counterattack system was unreliable, but I didn't expect that you could not match the unreliable one. Do you think this can be achieved through hard work? You know that the essence of Naruto is the Millennium soap opera of the Otoki family. Do you think that a civilian ninja like me is qualified to challenge Hai Yi Chi alone? Li Yi is angry, really angry. End of this chapter. Chapter 6. Reasons for Trading. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6 Reasons for Trading. Well, don't get too excited, okay? Of course, I know that you, a commoner ninja without a background and bloodline limit, cannot qualify to challenge the ultimate boss. Therefore, this system has mercifully prepared a body copy card for you, allowing you to challenge the ultimate boss, Himeji. The unreliable system said calmly. Body copy card. What's the effect? Li Yi calmed down a bit and then asked. As the name suggests, it means copying someone else's body. The unreliable and systematic answer caught Li Ye's eye. Do you mean that I can directly copy the 10-tailed pillar power state of Huiji with your card? Li Ye's eyes couldn't help but sparkle as he spoke. Comrade Sakura, you've thought too much. If this body copy card could have such an effect, do you think the task I posted still has the meaning of completion? The difficulty of the task is directly proportional to the reward, which is a rule that all systems must follow, and even the overall system cannot change. Therefore, the body copy card given to you is limited, and you can only use it on women who are no more than 2 years older than you. The unreliable system gave an accurate answer. Are you sure you're not playing with me? Upon hearing this answer, Li Ye's face turned black as if it were the bottom of the pot. You can choose to answer or not, this is already my maximum authority. The unreliable system's serious voice rang out. Is it true that the body copy card can only be applied to a girl who is less than 2 years old than myself? Li Yi closed his eyes, carefully recalled and pondered for a while before lifting his head and asking. Well, that's right, the unreliable system replied straightforwardly. Any body can replicate 100% without any sequelae, right? Li Yi asked again. This card is a masterpiece of the conscience of a great expert, absolutely risk-free. You can rest assured. For works of conscience, the unreliable system is still very confident. Very good, the last question is, how can I determine that I have defeated Himeji? It's not that I want to personally seal her, is it? Sakura Haruno's expression changed for a moment, and she finally confirmed. Solo combat is necessary, but there is no mandatory requirement to seal it. As long as you can beat her half to death and hand it over to the hands of 2 Fate Sons without her resistance, the task will be completed. The unreliable system can also provide its own standards. Okay, I've taken on this task. From today until I change back, my name is Haruno Sakura. The agreement between one person and one system was reached, which gave Haruno Sakura the reason to come to Uchiha Itachi. After talking to Uchiha Itachi, Haruno Sakura worked even harder. In addition to the daily fixed and unchanging menu, there is also a taste of medical ninjutsu added, step by step moving towards her goals, and time is quickly flowing away as Haruno Sakura moves towards her goals step by step. A year quickly passed amidst the busy schedule of Haruno Sakura. With the passage of a year, the atmosphere in the village became increasingly oppressive and heavy. Even Chunai Sakura, who had already fully devoted herself to cultivation at school and at home, could feel the heaviness of the approaching storm. Looking at the calendar on the wall, my 56 years old, July. Senior Itachi, time is approaching. What will your decision be? On the other side, standing in front of the stone tablet inherited by the Uchiha clan, Uchiha Itachi's mood at this moment was simply a mess. About a year ago, after handing over his left eye to Uchiha Itachi, Jishui tragically helped Uchiha Itachi open the Kaleidoscope Sharingan. This is why Uchiha Itachi used the Kaleidoscope Sharingan to read the part of the content that belongs to the Kaleidoscope Sharingan. If I hadn't talked to that little girl named Haruno Sakura a year ago, Uchiha Itachi might not have had any special thoughts after reading this part. At most, he would have thought about the future. After all, at that time, the Uchiha clan had not yet reached the final step, and Uchiha Itachi had not planned for the not-too-distant future. With that conversation, Uchiha Itachi finally understood what the little girl named Haruno Sakura saw in the future. Saying those words that hurt Sasuke, losing his shining eyes. So, I entrusted everything to Sasuke, Uchiha Itachi, who was alone, couldn't help but murmur. After vague words, the entire underground stone chamber fell into silence once again, with only the occasional soft sound of a burning explosion reminding Uchiha Itachi of the passage of time. After a long time, Uchiha Itachi, standing in front of the inheritance stone monument, finally fixed his gaze and walked out. 3 days later, when the school bell rang and Haruno Sakura closed her book and prepared to pack up and leave, Irika, who was supposed to leave, stood on the podium without moving at all. Don't rush to leave, you little ones. The school organized a shelter exercise today, and everyone came with me. You can only go home after the exercise is over. Hey! Irika finished speaking, and the whole classroom was buzzing with complaints, except for Haruno Sakura sitting next to Hinata, who looked out the window into the distance. The night of extermination has begun. I should have done everything I could and should have done, and the rest is just waiting. However, since I haven't been arrested yet, it's obvious that Uchiha Itachi hasn't reported his situation. So I should have some expectations. A few hours later, when Haruno Sakura followed the large army out of the shelter, she returned home at the fastest speed possible. Without enough time to eat, Haruno Sakura went straight back to her room. You're back. A voice rang in Haruno Sakura's ear. Although I don't want to, I still urgently want to see Senior Itachi appear here. Can we trade now? Sakura Haruno didn't hesitate and asked directly. I will definitely get what you want and give it to you when you prophesy, Uchiha Itachi nodded and replied directly. What do you need me to do, Senior? Apart from marrying Sasuke Jun and dying for him, I can accept anything else. For Haruno Sakura, no matter how difficult it is, there are no more difficult things than the above two. Don't worry, although I know it will be very difficult to obtain what you want, I never thought of asking you to repay in such an unacceptable way. After being surprised by Haruno Sakura's words, Uchiha Itachi's face relaxed a little. So what is the hope of the senior? Haruno Sakura quickly asked, feeling relieved, after hearing that she didn't have to do some unacceptable brainwashing for the sake of trading. End of this chapter. Chapter 7. A Promise from a Gentleman. Happy Dragon Boat Festival. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7. A Promise from a Gentleman. Happy Dragon Boat Festival. I can't say it now, after all, the changes in the future may not be as you said. You only need to owe me once, and when I need it, just give it back to me. Itachi shook his head and didn't say anything substantial. The more it is like this, the more Chunai Sakura feels that things are troublesome. As for whether she owes the favor or not. Are you joking? You must not lose your masculinity just because your body becomes a girl. A gentleman's promise is to rest until death. Although I was not considered a gentleman in my previous life, I never failed to fulfill my promises. Okay, as long as Senior Itachi hands me what I want, I will definitely take action to complete the task you entrusted me with when you need it, Haruno Sakura replied in an unusually serious tone as she stared at Uchiha Itachi's blood-colored Sankoku Sharingan. Very good. With a slight smile, Uchiha Itachi's body suddenly disappeared with a thud in front of Haruno Sakura. Shadow clone. It seems like it was a means of staying in advance. Opening the door, Chunai Sakura came downstairs with a joyful mood to eat. A week later, Uchiha Sasuke, who had a mental breakdown on the night of extermination, finally returned to the classroom. A week or so ago, Uchiha Sasuke's temperament underwent a significant change. Even the children in the classroom could feel that the current Uchiha Sasuke was somewhat different from before, and the one who felt the most deeply was Haruno Sakura. From being proud and delicate to being cold, Senior Itachi is really merciless. The daily life of the school has not changed in any way due to a student, and the classes that need to be attended continue. However, Sakura Haruno, who is addicted to studying, can occasionally feel a cold gaze. Of course, the owner of the line of sight, Haruno Sakura, knew that she was being targeted by a little kid with this posture. However, Sakura Haruno was not moved by it because she was well aware that it was not the time to come into contact with Sasuke Uchiha. The night of extermination is still vivid in my mind, and my gaze in the village is still focused on Ujibwa. If I don't want to enter those who are paying attention, I have to keep a low profile. What truly relieved Sakura Haruno was that Uchiha Sasuke seemed to understand that he shouldn't be making any noticeable moves now, so although he wanted to know something, he still endured it. 3 months had passed in the blink of an eye. After school, Sakura Haruno had only walked 2 blocks and saw Sasuke Uchiha waiting at the next corner. Being able to endure for 3 months before coming to see me, Sasuke, you have grown a lot. Come with me, Haruno Sakura said softly in front of Uchiha Sasuke, before heading in another direction. After a while, the two of them arrived at the small river near the 7th training ground. Listening to the sound of flowing water, Chunai Sakura walked to the small river and sat down satisfied. Come and sit down, remember to raise your hands to cover your mouth when speaking. Although she didn't think she would be paying attention, Haruno Sakura cautiously instructed Uchiha Sasuke. What did you say to that man over a year ago? After sitting down and making a cool gesture with both hands to cover his mouth, Uchiha Sasuke immediately asked in a low, cold voice. You plan to kill that man, your brother Itachi Sr. Haruno Sakura didn't even say the last word, so, when she was interrupted by Uchiha Sasuke's angry voice. Shut up, don't mention that man's name in front of me. Okay, since you've decided to kill that man, what you should do now is train hard instead of asking me about the past, which won't help you in any way. Haruno Sakura had no intention of telling the impulsive Uchiha mistress something he couldn't and shouldn't know now. What's going on? Uchiha Sasuke didn't give up easily. I told you, we will all die. You don't have the strength to bear those words now, and you bear the mission of reviving the clan. What you should think about is how to continue living. I promise you that when you have enough strength to protect us from harm, I will tell you that this is enough. Then remember the most important thing you should do now is to improve your strength, rather than explore the taboos you cannot touch. Haruno Sakura replied rationally. Sure enough, no wonder after that, the man's state was very wrong. I need to know, now I need to know. Uchiha Sasuke's voice gradually increased, and the suppressed anger seemed to be about to burst out uncontrollably. Shut up, be quiet. I thought you had endured for 3 months before coming to me to inquire about things a year ago. You had grown up, but now it seems that you have not made much progress. The third generation Hokage has a special ninjutsu called telescope ninjutsu, and as long as he wants, there are very few places in the village. He can observe when he wants to, and if he is observing us at this moment, then we are really going to die. Let me ask you, can a few words from a year ago be as important as your life? Do you really want to seek revenge against that man? How to divert the attention of this Uchiha mistress, Sakura Haruno, is still very clear. Sure enough, after Haruno Sakura finished speaking these words, Uchiha Sasuke immediately calmed down a lot. Even though you are weaker than me, why can you know a secret that I cannot even know? Although Uchiha Sasuke did not continue to ask, he said very displeased. I'm really sorry for being weaker than you. But I won't argue with you, this little brat. If you have time to complain about this, why not think carefully about how to improve your own strength? That man is really strong. If you don't make a mistake in estimation, in 2 or 3 years, even the third generation Hokage may not be able to suppress him. After listening to Haruno Sakura's words, Uchiha Sasuke was shocked at the moment. How could it be? How did you know? Don't worry about these things, let me ask you a little now. Do you want to narrow the gap with that man? Although I can't even beat you, I am confident that I can guide you to practice for a period of time. Haruno Sakura, who spoke these words, actually did not want to do so in her heart, it was too troublesome. But whenever she thinks of Uchiha Itachi, Haruno Sakura feels that she should give some sweetness to the guy in front of her. She believes that as long as Uchiha Itachi knows that she is guiding his brother's cultivation, she will definitely understand the meaning of her actions. Do you guide me in cultivation? To be honest, Uchiha Sasuke genuinely looks down on the girl in front of him. Even if this girl gets involved with that man, there is a high possibility that she knows some intelligence that he is not aware of, but that does not mean she can guide herself. The weak are the weak. I definitely can't do anything about advanced ninjutsu, but I can still lay a solid foundation for you. If you think about it, let me know. As she spoke, Haruno Sakura stood up and then stepped onto the river, accompanied by a little ripple spreading. Haruno Sakura took a few steps to cross the river and disappeared into the forest across the river. End of this chapter. Chapter 8. Naruto Xiong and Second Baby. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8 Naruto Xiong and Second Baby. Watching Haruno Sakura leave, Uchiha Sasuke realizes for the first time that he seems to know nothing about this girl, and his understanding of her seems to be limited to her weak abilities and a love for reading. The next day, at the place where we met yesterday, Uchiha Sasuke waited there after school. It seems that you need my help now, Haruno Sakura asked as she looked at Uchiha Sasuke with a hint of pride in her smile. Need. Although reluctant, Uchiha Sasuke can do anything to enhance his strength. If it weren't for such a personality, Uchiha Sasuke wouldn't have defected in the original work, it would be a big deal to have some face. So come with me. Sakura Haruno still agrees with Sasuke Uchiha's pragmatic spirit. In no time, the two of them arrived in the forest behind Hoyinjian. After stopping in front of a big tree, Haruno Sakura looked at Uchiha Sasuke and said, "Today's cultivation is just one, tree climbing. This is a practice for chakra control." After speaking, Haruno Sakura lifted her right foot and stepped on the main trunk of the tree in front of her. She then walked up and finally reached a branch not far from the ground, hanging upside down and looking at Uchiha Sasuke. How did it happen? Uchiha Sasuke asked directly. Gather chakra under your feet and wait for you to handle it calmly before you come find me, said Haruno Sakura as she walked down the tree and left after saying the precautions. Come out. Not far from Uchiha Sasuke, Haruno Sakura saw a figure in the nearby grass. Sakura Sas, you're really amazing. You've noticed everything like this, a figure quickly emerged from the nearby grass. Golden short hair, azure double pupils, with 6 beard-like textures on the cheeks, wearing a black T-shirt with a wooden leaf logo painted on the chest, shorts on the lower body, and wearing dark green windproof glasses. This standard configuration is easily recognizable as the participation of Naruto Vortex. For Naruto Vortex, Sakura Haruno has a headache. No, this bear child has matured too early, making Chunai Sakura afraid to say a word more to him in her daily life. In fact, Haruno Sakura was misunderstood by Naruto Vortex, so she didn't feel anything wrong, but Haruno Sakura was afraid of being misunderstood by Hinata. Sitting next to Hinata, it is impossible to avoid Hinata's ears when speaking, and Hinata is currently the main source of knowledge for Sakura Haruno. If Hinata gets jealous, Sakura Haruno won't be able to borrow books about medical ninjutsu to read anymore. Tell me, what's the matter with Sasuke-jun and me? For the purpose of Vortex Naruto to be found and answer, Chunai Sakura now wants to roast. Sakura sauce, can you also teach me how to climb trees? The appearance of Naruto Vortex here was actually an accident. He wandered around aimlessly, only to see his favorite Sakura Haruno and his most disliked Sasuke Uchiha. Seeing the two of them appear in the forest, Naruto Vortex almost instinctively thought that his favorite Sakura and his most disliked Sasuke were secretly dating. Just as he was about to go up and cause trouble, there was a scene of Sakura Haruno walking up the treetop. Only then did the less intelligent Whirlpool Ming understand that Sasuke, whom he disliked the most, was actually learning from his favorite Sakura sauce. Damn it, how could such a good thing be monopolized by that bastard Sasuke? The unhappy Naruto expressed that he had something good to share. Just as Naruto was about to come over, Haruno Sakura walked towards him and the two met. Do you want to learn chakra control? Sakura Haruno asked Naruto Vortex. I want to learn, I absolutely can't lose to that bastard Sasuke, Naruto Vortex said loudly. Crane Tail, who the hell are you talking about? Naruto Vortex's voice was not low, and Uchiha Sasuke, who was about to start practicing not far away, suddenly heard it. The already proud second baby suddenly became unhappy and walked over directly to ask Naruto Vortex. Bastard, who are you talking about with a crane tail? Naruto Vortex immediately lit up like a firecracker with Uchiha Sasuke bear. You two, shut up and don't make a fuss in front of me. The top two in school and the crane tail don't seem to be of much use to me, and don't talk about what has already happened. Aren't you two looking down on each other? Well, let's use tree climbing as a comparison, both of which are skills that I haven't learned before, and can be used as a comparison. After speaking, Haruno Sakura explained the essence of tree climbing to the two of them and gave a demonstration. Then, Haruno Sakura withdrew and left, leaving behind two figures who refused to give up and began to compete. After leaving the back mountain of Huayinjian, Haruno Sakura did not go straight home. Instead, she went to Kiba Hospital and exchanged her pocket money for a bottle of ointment that had been injured by a fall. When Haruno Sakura returned from the hospital to the back mountain of Hokage, she saw two figures lying on the ground unable to get up. Is that so? As she approached, Haruno Sakura saw two people with bruises and abrasions on their faces and bodies. Opening the bottle of the ointment, Haruno Sakura immediately began wiping it with Uchiha Sasuke. Sakura sauce, why did you first medicate that bastard Sasuke? Do you like Sasuke? After listening to the words of the Whirlpool Bear child, Haruno Sakura felt her forehead explode. I bought this ointment from my hospital, totaling 500 taels. This money will be returned to me by Sasuke-jun. That's why I need to apply medicine to him first. As she spoke, Haruno Sakura had already drugged Uchiha Sasuke, and then it was Naruto Vortex's turn. Xiaoying, why did I pay for all the medication? Yes, at this moment, Uchiha Sasuke looked very dissatisfied. You wouldn't think Naruto Vortex is wealthy like this, would you? If you don't want it, I can skip drugging him and practice more while he's recovering. Sakura Haruno didn't explain too much and just gave the arrogant and delicate goods a way to motivate them. Humph. The proud and delicate baby didn't say any more. With a cold snort, it indicated that the baby didn't mind a little money to save the poor. Okay, actually you don't have to worry too much about the medicine cost. With a few days of progress, you should be able to master it. You don't need much ointment. Don't practice too late, you still have to go to school tomorrow. It's almost dark, I'll go back first. After putting down the ointment bottle, Haruno Sakura stood up and left. On the other hand, in the Hokage office, the third-generation Hokage, who had watched the entire event through a crystal ball, touched his beard with a slight smile and solemnity, not knowing what he was thinking. About 10 days later, the two finally completed the entire tree climbing project, which extended their learning time significantly compared to the original work where they only took 2 days. But this is not surprising. It should be noted that after graduation, there are still about 4 years left before graduation, and in between, their chuck pull is also crucial. End of this chapter. Chapter 9. The curtain of the play opens. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9. The curtain of the play opens. After completing the tree climbing project, Sakura Haruno immediately demonstrated water walking for the two of them. Of course, this was not on the riverbank. In July, the Uchiha clan was wiped out, and it had been 3 months since Sasuke asked Sakura Haruno about it. It was already late autumn, and considering the weather, Sakura Haruno took the two of them to Hot Spring Street. Then Haruno Sakura made another trip to Kiba Hospital, and this time she bought a burn ointment. And just 2 days later, Uchiha Sasuke threw the burn cream he had paid for far away. In the competition between these two projects, although Uchiha Sasuke achieved the final victory, he truly won the suspense. Naruto Vortex's grasp of time was only slightly slower than Uchiha Sasuke, which also caused considerable pressure on Uchiha Sasuke. After completing the two projects, the two of them have gained some basic control over their own chakra. What are you doing today? As a new day arrived, Uchiha Sasuke, who felt like he was making progress, eagerly asked Haruno Sakura. I won't do anything, I'll tell you everything I know, Haruno Sakura replied lightly after glancing at Uchiha Sasuke. If it weren't for Naruto Vortex, Sakura Haruno would never have said that. Instead, she was preparing to awaken Uchiha Sasuke's already activated Sharingan, but with Naruto Vortex present, many things would have been inconvenient. However, this is also good. One is that Sakura Haruno has not figured out how to help Sasuke open the Sharingan again. Another reason is that Sakura Haruno is worried that once she successfully opens the Sharingan for Sasuke, her character will definitely show up everywhere, and she is likely to be noticed by then. Hey, Sakura Sauce, why don't you know? You're reading some books that aren't available in school every day. Naruto Vortex suddenly became a little restless. The only ninjutsu taught in school is the three-body technique. I know it, and you know it too. There's nothing to mention. Throwing the Kawushu sword and so on, you're even stronger than me, and there's nothing to say. On the side of the body technique, if you can endure hardship, I can find an example for you. You have half of his training every day, and I believe that as long as you persist and wait until graduation, there will be some good progress in your strength. As for my reading, it is to learn medical ninjutsu. This not only requires talent, but also patience. More importantly, it can only play a supportive role in battles. You probably won't be willing to waste time learning this. After Haruno Sakura finished speaking, Uchiha Sasuke immediately asked, who is the role model? I think you have heard of a boy in the class who is 1 year older than us who doesn't know how to practice ninjutsu. He often works near the third training ground. His name is Lockley, and he only practices physical skills every day. You can go find him and check his training volume for a day before deciding whether to follow him. After that, Haruno Sakura left. After dismissing the two Fate sons, Haruno Sakura returned home to continue learning the theoretical knowledge of medical ninjutsu. Having been in this world for almost 2 years, Sakura Haruno's cultivation, apart from her body opening technique, has been entirely focused on medical ninjutsu, without even practicing the nature changes of chakra. There is a reason for this. For Haruno Sakura, becoming the strongest female ninja does not depend on her own efforts in ninjutsu. As the saying goes, it is better to learn well than to have a good life. There is no bloodline limit, and no matter how hard she works, it is absolutely impossible to achieve the strength to defeat Himeji in 10 years. Having already placed her hope on Uchiha Itachi, Haruno Sakura will not seek other paths. The reason why she is striving to practice medical ninjutsu is to lay a foundation so that she can become a disciple of Tsunade more smoothly. You should know that magic is still very attractive to Sakura Haruno, and more importantly, Sakura Haruno is looking for a way out for herself. When she cannot defeat Himeji, she relies on the power of technology to change her gender. Because there was really no hope of completing the unreliable system task, Sakura Haruno planned to withdraw from the 7th team of full-time medical ninjas and focus on developing cloning and organ transplantation technologies at Kiba Hospital with peace of mind. That's why she would rather spend all her time on medical ninjutsu. Either succeed or take one step to the sky, or rely on technology to become a female ninja to complete tasks or something. Haruno Sakura never considered such a life from beginning to end. Time flies, and in the blink of an eye, we have arrived at the 60-year-old village of Mai. In the past few years, since Haruno Sakura deliberately approached Hinata and became her only best friend, she not only succeeded in obtaining medical-related books, but also received introductory guidance on medical ninjutsu from an adult woman from the Hinata family in the past 2 years. Not long ago, Sakura Haruno finally got started with her medical ninjutsu. Although she was still a bit far from mastering the advanced art of cactus, she had already fully mastered ordinary healing techniques. Moreover, compared to her healing skills, Haruno Sakura has a much stronger talent in medicine, which can be attributed to her exceptional talent as a scholar. As March approaches, the time for the curtain to open is getting closer and closer. Most students are looking forward to graduation, but Sakura Haruno is indeed looking forward to the ninja exam after graduation, because after that, Uchiha Itachi will return to Kiba to fulfill his promise, and it is unknown whether the reliable Itachi Sr. has obtained the active cell tissue of the 10 tails. Of course, if any senior disappoints her, he has a backup plan, but this plan is definitely not as high as the previous limit. A few days later, in the graduation assessment, Naruto Vortex still failed his clone technique as usual, and the incident of stealing the sealed book occurred without any deviation. From beginning to end, Haruno Sakura only looked at this matter from the perspective of an observer, without any intention of participating. The forbidden technique on the Book of Seals is not something she can reach out to now. The next day, after Irika stood on the podium and recited the 3 members of Class 7, Haruno Sakura's heart finally fell back into her stomach. Then, it was about 2 hours later that Sakura Haruno finally saw the famous flag tree Wowokai in the world of Hokage for the first time. Kakashi, who deliberately fell into the Naruto's blackboard eraser calculation, rolled his eyes and said the first sentence, "My first impression of you was quite annoying." After speaking, Kakashi didn't care about anything else and made a gesture to come with me before walking directly towards the outside. After a while, on the roof of the teaching building, Kakashi sat half on the railing and said to the 3 people in front of him, "Anyway, let's introduce ourselves first." I said, "You should come first, teacher." Haruno Sakura didn't speak, but the nearby Naruto Vortex couldn't help but speak. "My name is Chimu Kakashi. I won't tell you what I like or dislike, but I have various interests." "It's your turn, let's start with you," Kakashi said weakly as he glanced at Naruto Vortex. End of this chapter. Chapter 10. Traditional Assessment Comes. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10. Traditional Assessment Comes. My name is Xiong Naruto, and I like instant noodles. What I like more is the happy Lamian noodles that Mr. Aluka invited me to eat. I have to wait 3 minutes to hate instant noodles. My dream in the future is to surpass Huiying, so I must let the whole village recognize my existence. Xiong wa Naruto said excitedly at the moment. Okay, next one. Upon hearing Naruto Vortex's words, just the word, instant noodles, made Kakashi deeply realize how difficult Naruto Vortex's growth journey can be. My name is Uchiha Sasuke. There are many things I dislike, but there is nothing I particularly like. If it comes to dreams or ambitions, one is to revive the Uchiha clan, and then I must personally kill that man. After Yuzhibo Sasuke finished speaking some heavy words, a hint of solemnity flashed through Chimu Kakashi's dead fish eyes. Alright, last one, Kakashi continued after a pause. My name is Haruno Sakura, and my interests are confidential, so don't ask me what I like or dislike. If I have a dream, I won't tell you. Then, I have started medical ninjutsu and basic pharmacology, and I have mastered treatment techniques. I can prepare general wound medicines, and if you get injured, you can come to me for treatment, charged according to the number of times. Haruno Sakura briefly introduced herself. Sakura, do you also have to charge for a member of a team? Kakashi was curious about the only girl in the three-person group in front of her. The fee is for your good, and if you don't want to pay, you'll get hurt less. This is to motivate you. Besides, the treatment drugs are free, said Haruno Sakura as she rolled her eyes and looked at Kakashi speechlessly. After listening to Haruno Sakura's words, Kakashi was really speechless. No one could justify his death for money so confidently. Yoshi, all three of them have very distinct personalities and are very interesting. The task will start tomorrow. And our first task for the four of us is a survival exercise. Note that this is not an ordinary survival exercise, it is a survival exercise that determines whether you can graduate. Kakashi suddenly said with a gloomy face to the three not far away. Hey, my graduation exam was really tough, why do I have to take the exam? Naruto Vortex immediately shouted. That exam was to confirm those who have the ability to endure, and among you 27 people, only 9 can pass, while the remaining 18 will be returned to school. Therefore, this is a super difficult assessment with an elimination rate of 66%. How about it? Are you scared? Kakashi asked as he stared at the three of them. What? Naruto Vortex exclaimed in disbelief. Tomorrow I will judge whether you are qualified. Bring a set of ninja tools, gather at 5 o'clock in the morning, and disband. After speaking, Kakashi turned around and added before leaving, don't eat, you'll vomit. With a hint of oppression, Naruto Vortex and Sasuke Uchiha couldn't help but change their faces. Only Sakura Haruno, who knew all the truth, sat calmly on the side. Sakura Sauce, what do you think you should do tomorrow? Naruto immediately asked Haruno Sakura after seeing Kakashi leave. I don't even know the assessment content, how can I come up with a solution? Uchiha Sasuke said calmly. Well, it's not like that, Haruno Sakura shook her head, but gave a hopeful message to Naruto Vortex and Sasuke Uchiha. What's going on? Naruto asked eagerly, and Uchiha Sasuke beside him also showed a few expressions of concern. In fact, the content of the assessment can be roughly guessed. First of all, what we learned at ninja school, ninja led by 9 players should not be individually assessed. Then, survival exercises focus on the 2 words of survival, and guessing correctly should be related to overall ability. There are only 9 people who can pass, which happens to be 3 teams. In other words, either we are all qualified or we are all unqualified. Only when the 3 teams are qualified can we accurately guarantee the number of 9. Taking into account 3 factors, this survival exercise, no matter what question teacher Shanran poses, should only focus on 2 aspects. One is to assess our individual comprehensive strength, and the other is to see if the 3 of us have a sense of teamwork. After Haruno Sakura finished speaking, Sasuke beside her frowned slightly. It's okay to have a basic understanding of personal strength, but what about team consciousness? Sasuke is not worried about having a basic understanding of personal strength. Haruno Sakura goes without saying that even with the disliked Naruto around her, Sasuke recognized his strength. It should be noted that for the past 3 years, this crane tail had been competing with her in physical cultivation. Although it was far less than the training amount of that watermelon head guy, it was far beyond the homework assigned by the school. Therefore, in terms of personal strength, there was absolutely no reason for the 3 of her to lose to any team. But team consciousness is not easy to handle, and I don't have any tacit understanding with this crane tail. For general goals or tasks, the teacher will definitely give us time to consider. I'm not worried about this type of assessment, I'm worried about a 2 out of 3 assessment, Haruno Sakura said as if pointing out something. What is 2 out of 3? Naruto asked in confusion. For example, tomorrow teacher Kakashi will assign a task to collect the 3 of us protective covers and place them in a more prominent place, but announce that the 2 people who receive the covers first can graduate. What will you do? After listening to Haruno Sakura's words, Naruto and Sasuke suddenly oozed some cold sweat on their foreheads. Sakura sauce, teacher Kakashi shouldn't be so despicable, should we just not argue? Naruto asked with some disbelief. Fool, not competing is elimination. Ninjas prioritize completing tasks and don't even do them. What else are they doing as ninjas? This kind of 2 out of 3 exam is to make it difficult for us to unite and cooperate, so we not only have to compete, but also unite to overcome difficulties and get things in hand first. The second baby's brain is much more intelligent than the bare child. That's settled, I'll go home first. After saying that, Haruno Sakura left directly. As soon as Haruno Sakura left, the 2 of them glanced at each other and then hummed before walking in the other direction. At 5 a.m. the next day, Sakura Haruno arrived at the gathering place on time, but she didn't just bring a ninja bag, a sleeping bag, and 3 bentos. After seeing Naruto and Sasuke, Haruno Sakura handed them the other 2 bentos in her hand. Don't ask anything, let's eat first. After speaking, Chunai Sakura opened the lid and silently started eating. Taking the bento, Sasuke and Naruto looked at each other, then sat down and started eating big. Thank you to the book enthusiasts of Relativity of Love for their reward and support from afar. End of this chapter.